Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to an overview of Astrea, Six-Sided Oracles. So this is currently going free on Epic for the next day. They do this around Christmas. Every day they give away a free game, and in the past I've covered them on and off. I'm contemplating doing it again this Christmas. I basically just checked in to see what was going on, saw that this was there, and realized that this is a game that I never actually played when it came out a year ago. So I've jumped in, given a bit of a go to figure out what's going on and give you an idea and see if you're interested in. So ultimately it is one of those games. It's a Slay the Spire-like. It's doing some innovative, different stuff, but my sort of major takeaway is, while there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, I feel like this might be aimed at people that are a bit more hardcore into that genre. Say you are burnt out on Slay the Spire and you're sniffing around for something more, something different. This is probably aimed at you. The irony being that if you have 1,000 hours in Slay the Spire, you're probably a bit prudish and you just want to play Slay the Spire. But, you know, that's sort of my surface level take. At the core of it, this game is doing like dice instead of cards. And you can right click on each individual die and it will pull up a pretty helpful little infographic showing you the 6 faces, the name of it, you know, its categorization, and essentially that's how you sort of build it out. Each die kind of belongs to almost a suit in a way. They have different names. Like there was one I was doing called Scarlet something or other, but there's ones that are more about boosting or changing the facing of the die, or like embracing corruption over purification, which are sort of cornerstones to how this game works. It's very overwhelming as a beginner. Like if you were to lay it out and say, hey Scarlet, suggest me a baby's first Slay the Spire type game, this would not be it, because it leans very heavily into like symbol recognition. And while I'm slowly starting to get the hang of it myself, again, this is not the on-ramp game. And it's hard to tell without putting, 500 hours into it, how it holds up in the back end. Is this gimmick something that will pay off? I'm not trying to be harsh on it or anything like that, but it is very difficult at first blush, even just to get your head around what's going on the screen. And as your run progresses into like the later biomes, like I'm gonna run at the moment halfway through the second biome, where you've got 3 enemies, you've got me, you get these 2 little sidekick robots, they've all got their own dice. There's a bazillion different dice on the screen, and there's your hand, and you're sort of expected to start memorizing what stuff does. And the truth is I'm spending, 3/4 of the time mousing over, right-clicking, trying to figure out, is this an area of effect attack? Is this a random person one? Is this a defense only or offense only? So it's very overwhelming. However, there is a kernel in there. There's a nugget in there of something interesting. The idea of trying to create a certain build around a certain die type. I mentioned corruption and purification, blue, red, that's the sort of theme to this game. Actually, on the theme, as cool as the art is, the music, everything's really wonderful. But in a way, I find it actually kind of not very much, it's kind of soulless. The way the game boots up, it puts you through a 5-minute intro cutscene trying to explain the world building, and it's just so very dry. And, I'm sure the developers are very enthusiastic about what they've built here and they're very happy with it, but like, it's not the best way to set a first impression for a player. Like, due to due diligence for making a video, I sat through it, but I think most people will skip or should skip and just dive straight into this dice mechanic and see if it grabs them. Yeah, but before I lose the thread, essentially corruption, purification, right? Each die does that, ultimately. I mean, that's a bit of a lie because they get into unusual party trick re-rolls and enhancing things, whatever. But at its base, you can do purification or corruption damage to each character. So you could intentionally corrupt your own dude to lose health, because you can probably see on the screen, you've got these little incremental pips at your health level. And once you cross past that in the, losing health direction, you'll unlock a bonus, which might be like, here, you can re-roll dice, or you can do free corruption to the enemy. And arguably, you can feather it, right? If you had a whole bunch of 1 corruptions and 1 purifications, and you were right on the boundary of one of these things, you could take 1 corruption to unlock the re-roll, and then you could heal 1 purification onto your dude to cover it back up, and then you could take another corruption to get another reroll, presuming that you just used that reroll. It doesn't stack up multiples. So there's, there's nuance, there's interesting stuff going on there. And the same goes for the enemy. You want to do purification, the good stuff, the healing stuff to them, and they lose health. But you can also put corruption on them for them to heal, which might be advantageous because you don't want to take any more damage because you don't want to bottom out your health bar. Because when your health bar hits 0, you lose a life, a little heart. You've got 3 of them for the run, and so on. So there's definitely strategy there, tactics. It's all there. It's just how to put this. In its pursuit of coming up with something original and innovative, it's gone the complicated route as opposed to the simplicity route, which I think, fundamentally comparing the two, that's the wrong way to go. I didn't cover it, but yesterday they had Vampire Survivors up. That's one of the biggest hits in recent years. It's humongous, everyone's tried it, and at the core, it's because it is so incredibly simple to comprehend and understand, and just mechanically. And the complexity can build upon that, but at its absolute core, it's incredibly clean in its design. Not that this is a pissing contest, they're different genres and all that. But yeah, okay, there's some innovative and interesting things going on here. And I suppose the fun that one would extract from this is in the sitting there staring at your screen for 3 minutes at a time, looking at all the different bloody combinations and symbols in your head. And, you've essentially got a meme doing math in your mind to try and figure out the optimal path through. Now that's going to appeal to some, probably in the minority as well. Anyway, I feel like I've been a bit harsh on the game. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's got all the ingredients that should make a good mix, but I still come away feeling like it misses the mark a little bit. This could just be personal taste and preference. What would I know? I'm just an idiot who plays video games. At the end of the day, I wanted to check it out. It's free right now on Epic, so you should just grab it and find out for yourself if you like it. But I suppose the real main takeaway is if you look at games like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, whatever, and you just scrunch your face up and go, nah, I'm burnt out, I don't want that genre, I totally can understand. I'm a bit in that space, to be honest. This is not going to change your mind. On that, I'll recommend Knock on the Coffin Lid, which I recommend to anyone that is in that mentality. I love that game. Check that out. It's probably on sale on Steam at the moment. But at the very least, chuck this in your Epic library, maybe check it out between things for a palate cleanser, see if it's for you. And at the end of the day, if my video even just gets one person to find this game and enjoy it, well, that's a success to me. Anyway, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.